Hall was the last car on the lead lap, so he did come in.
When did they start putting fluids in electrical system?
Liquid-filled coil. I have heard of liquid-filled coil.
Really?
But,
okay.
I'd never seen
I
one.
didn't realize that's what they were using. Instead of
good work down there, Ralph. You did a good follow-up on that, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I just knew there was a lot of stuff in there. What in the world?
Can you hold them up?
Joe Nemechek, Mike Joy at CBS. We're under caution. We're in commercial. Can you hear us?
Sure can.
Okay, if we stay caution here, we'll try to get a word with you when we come back.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're all down
you
here.
do it.
Bobby, Leslie, and John and all them. They forgot to invite me to the party.
You want to do it?
Okay, 4 leaders.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by NAPA Auto Parts.
What was that from lap 87 on? 7 to 102 is 35-36.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by NAPA Auto Parts.
We're under caution at 101 laps. 4 leaders. Mike McLaughlin, Joe Nemechek, Jeff Burton's been out in front today. Nemechek currently is on point. 148 miles an hour the average speed despite 4 caution flags for 15 laps. Jeff and Mark Crow join Mike Cope, Steve Reeves, Dave Blaney, and Robert Presley in the garage area. Riding along with Joe Nemechek. Joe, Mike Joy at CBS. Can you hear us?
Sure can. How you doing today?
Well, Joe, we're doing great, but you're kind of stinking up this show. You've led near the whole way. The question is, in this last sprint, can you hold them off?
Well, I'm not sure. I sure hope we can. I see all those guys behind us. They're trying to get positions so they can team up on me, but I've just been running this thing wide open all day. She's been handling right on the bottom. You know, Brian Patty and the rest of these guys on this Bellsouth Mobility crew have just given me an awesome race car.
Joe, does it concern you that nobody's yet really made a run at you to see if you can hold them off? I think he has the crew back talking to him over our transmission. So we'll let Joe get set for this last restart, and we'll go to Dick Berggren.
Yeah, and what he said is exactly what's happened down here, Mike. The crew chiefs of the second, third, and fourth place cars have indeed gotten together. They are going to try to gang up on him and pass him on the outside. That's probably the only way they're going to beat this guy. He has been an absolute rocket all day long.
Well, in 1967, Paul Goldsmith led 101 of the first 110 laps, much like Nemechek today, but he lost the race to Jim Paschal in a late race shootout.
Ned, I would absolutely be thrilled if I knew they were going to try to pass me on the outside. That would have me in that mirror every second. I would be driving one eye in the mirror, one on the groove. I would run my groove. When they started to move, I'd move with them.
When they make that move, of course, he's going to make it too. He's going to drive right up there in front of him. If he is using that rear view mirror, you can bet your bottom dollar he'll be doing it too.
Buddy, would you rather lead or be second right now?
I tell you what, I'll take the lead anytime. Let them worry about getting by me, because you have your perfect groove running. If they start by and make any mistake at all, somebody else is going to shoot up under them, and all of a sudden they're side by side, and the race is yours.
Coming up next, CBS coverage of the Winter Olympics from Nagano, Japan, men's and women's ice hockey. We'll follow this 300-lap race. 17 laps to go. In 1984, Darrell Waltrip won this race by leading only 3 laps. In 1995, Chad Little led just 3 laps to win it.
Now you see another problem here. You have a fast car on the inside there, Mike. As you know that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a fast car. Now, if he gets a good jump here, that could really help Nemechek. If he could get down in front of the 3 car there, he could really pull away in a way.
Dick Berggren?
And one of Nemechek's crew members just went flying out of this pit in the direction of the 3 pit. And I asked Brian Patty, what's he doing? He says, Dale Jr. and Nemechek are very good friends. So that probably is what they're going to try to persuade him to do, is tuck in behind Nemechek and prevent those other guys from coming on by. Boy, this is going to be one interesting start.
Yeah, that would be the ideal situation for Earnhardt to get in behind Nemechek. But, you know, those other drivers up there have different ideas.
Well, Ned, I don't think it's going to come down to that. I think they're going to let the racers race for it. I don't think Dale will be a part of it.
Closest finish in the history of this race, 1964. Tiny Lund nipped Junior Johnson by 8 inches. Joe Nemechek hopes it's not that close. And he gets a car length advantage on Jeff Purvis as they head for turn 1.
But he's going to have to go into that turn high. He likes the low groove, but he goes in there high. If he can clear Earnhardt, then he can get back down on the inside.
Okay, there's another good thing. Earnhardt's right by himself. He does not have a car right up under him. Purvis is moving up now in 2nd place.
And Earnhardt gets down out of the way.
Tony Stewart ducks out of line. Here goes Purvis down to the bottom, but Nemechek beats them to the low groove in turn 3.
Mark Martin now gets by Dale Earnhardt Jr., making it a 4-car draft.
And they're not done. There's Dick Trickle in 5th place. Buckshot Jones in 6th, and Matt Kenseth in 7th. This is anybody's race with 15 to go. You're in the 4th place car of Mark Martin as they head for turn 1. And out behind him.
There's what you don't want to do. Dick Trickle's there side by side with Dale Earnhardt Jr., and you can see right now he's losing ground.
Trickle was on the low side coming out of turn 2, and around goes Earnhardt, up in the air and over. Both cars land on their wheels, but Trickle and Earnhardt Jr. go for a wild ride down the back straightaway of Daytona.
We'll race back to the caution. Nemechek will lead them back here.
And at the caution flag, it's Nemechek with Purvis, Tony Stewart, and Mark Martin. Dick Trickle will be able to drive away. But look at the front end of that car.
Wow, that car has major damage to the
Evidently, Earnhardt's car came down on top of it.
Exactly what happened.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew looks at it on the monitor on pit road as young Earnhardt gets an unwelcome debut at Daytona.
He did that, but the car never really hit hard. I'm sure he's okay. It never really turned over hard where the car took a lot of impact, so I'm sure he's okay.
Buddy, it looked a bit like Rusty Wallace's and some other. There's Earnhardt out of the car. He is okay. He said it looked a bit like one of Rusty Wallace's wild tumbles down the backstretch, where, as you say, didn't hit anything hard, just went for a tumble and a wild ride.
Well, it's mandatory that he goes to the hospital to be checked up, but you're exactly right. When the car comes off of the pavement on the back straightaway and gets on that grass, for some reason, air builds up under them and they lift right up, it seems.
All right, let's see what happened between Dick Trickle, the orange car, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There's the orange car of Dick Trickle. And you can see Trickle, he must have gotten hit from behind and shot right straight into Earnhardt's car. And you see Earnhardt's car lift, sets back down on the hood of Dick Trickle's car, then comes back down on its wheels.
I'm not sure what the Olympic judges would give that landing, but it was a wild one.
Let's take another look. You see Trickle right there. That's Buckshot Jones behind the two of them as they come off the corner there.
Okay, we'll follow this on down through here a little bit and see what they're side by side.
Here comes Buckshot with a great run off the corner. You see him coming up right there. He touches Trickle in the right rear corner into the 3 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Up in the air. Look at this.
Whew. The roof flaps didn't even have time to come up. They did once he turned backwards, but
let's slow it down here.
Yeah, the roof flaps did come up too. They went back down.
But Ned, it's possible with that car of Trickle's right behind Earnhardt's, the roof flaps may not have had a chance to spoil the air to keep him on the ground.
Exactly.
One year ago, Dale Earnhardt's dad, who's won this race 7 times in the Daytona 500. A year ago, number 3 is Earnhardt, senior.
Almost identical, except he didn't come across the racetrack. You can see him right up against the wall there, flipping violently down the back straightaway.
He just went over one time, came back on the wheels.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car hauled back to the garage. He climbed out of it okay, and will regrid for a shootout after this.
Yeah, man. Not on the metal part of the car.
Yes.
Very
yes.
good.
Restart. 11 laps to go.
Okay. Okay.
Yourself. He went mad.
Oh, we'll make it.
Nope. Yo ho ho.
What's our off time?
This man's
3?
gonna blow a cork.
2:30? Oops. Oops. Okay. Okay. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car is in the garage, and Dick Trickle has come to pit road. We'll have 11 laps to race when they come back.
Just 15 cars now on the lead lap.
Joe Nemechek, Jeff Purvis, Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, Buckshot Jones, last year's winner Randy LaJoie, Matt Kenseth, Mike Wallace, Mike Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, Kevin Schwantz, Phil Parsons, Hermie Sadler, Larry Pearson, and Shane Hall are on the lead lap. Pace car dives in, and here they come. Nemechek trying to haul this train to victory lane.
A great restart could be key here. You can see there goes Nemechek jumping out there. Purvis right with him.
That's Mark Green down on the inside, and away goes Tony Stewart. Here comes the pack, and Hermie Sadler
Pearson gets right into it.
and Larry Pearson can't miss him. Quickly, we'll go back to caution. Field slows on the backstretch. As in this series, they do not race back to the start-finish line, as they do in Winston Cup racing.
These guys are trying to get a lap back here. You can see them racing the lead car back to the flag.
Yeah, they are trying to get a lap back. And Mike, I think in this series they do race back to the flag. Only the leader's the one that tries to keep from getting a lap back. But Mark Green, John Andretti, and the car number 89 of Kevin Schwantz. got around the leader before they got back to the start-finish line. You see Tony Stewart's car there.
Stewart moving around inside the car. Apparently he's okay.
I said that was Kevin Swanson. That was the Stanton Barrett car that got a lap back. Here's Larry Pearson's car.
And window net down. Larry may already have climbed out of that car. Something happened on the way to turn one.
Mike, I've said it 1,000 times. The most dangerous part in a race is restart when you double foul. That's an oil cooler laying there with the hose still hooked up to it.
Debris all over the place.
This one will take a couple of laps to clean up.
It will.
10 laps to go. And this happened at third place.
Wow. What a great drive he had all day. Tony Stewart did everything right until just then. Whatever happened, wow.
8 cautions is the race record, 1980. 6 today.
Stewart coming out of the car, being helped out of the car. Now he's walking away.
And there's Larry Pearson. See what happened on the restart as they came up to speed going toward turn one.
Well, of course, the cars were all bunched up, and here is the 44 car. Apparently gets hit from behind, maybe by
that was Mark Martin there.
Made contact.
The black and yellow car right there.
And you can see he stays up there. Larry Pearson comes right in there. And
Hermie Sadler as well. Shane Hall then gets into the back of Larry Pearson. Top of your screen. And from the in-car camera with Randy LaJoie. In the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and they were still in third gear there.
Under caution at Daytona. Less than 10 laps to go. We'll be right back. Okay, I need to correct this on the race back to the flag. They were told in the driver's meeting, when you see the caution come out, back out of it.
Yeah.
It was what was told in the driver's meeting.
That's the leaders.
Except
That's
for the
leaders.
lead car.
Except for
it's up to him to race
car.
them.
Coming up next on CBS Sports from Nagano, Japan, the 18th Winter Olympics. Men's and women's hockey and the Nordic combined on this afternoon's coverage. Tonight, men's figure skating, women's alpine skiing, and can the Bodine bobsled score in the two-man competition? That sled designed and built by NASCAR race car fabricators. You'll see that tonight on CBS. Again, let's show you what happened to Tony Stewart's third place car.
This was on the restart.
Left of your screen.
And you can see he's turned right into the wall. And you can see them scrambling, drivers 3 deep back there trying to get around. Larry Pearson sees all that smoke and those cars on each side of him, comes right up there, and Stewart comes right back down in front of him right there. Pearson piles into him, and then the 85 car of Shane Hall piles into Pearson.
And Ned, let's explain this on racing back to the flag in this series, how that rule is enforced, because I misspoke a bit ago.
When you say racing back to the flag, sometimes it can be confusing. They're told in the driver's meeting, if the caution comes out, back off, guys. Don't race back to the flag. Let the leader keep the cars a lap down if he chooses to. And so he can run hard back to the line, but don't be trying to gain positions coming back to the line, excepting to try to get a lap back. And that's what we saw there. Nemechek did slow down and allowed 3 cars to get back on the lead lap, but they do indeed race back to the flag. Now, if it's near the end of the race and a wreck happens that might not let them get the race started again, yeah, they're going to race back to the flag and get every position they can.
7 laps to go. They'll restart single file. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his 10th career Busch Grand National start tangles up with 5th place Dick Trickle. And that 3 car of Earnhardt goes for a flyer off the back straightaway here.
Boy, he was lucky. He landed on the suspension part of the car instead of on the metal part.
Bill Stevens.
I'm with Dale Earnhardt Jr. You took a pretty good belt. How you feeling?
Just a little bit woozy. Got banged around in there just a little bit.
Remember what happened?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just flipped over. You can't really tell what's going on from inside the race car. All you see is grass, sky. But hate for AC Delco and Chevrolet. We had a real good car today. We had some kind of a miscue in the pits. It was just a rookie mistake on my part coming in there a little too hot. I was pretty excited about running up front with those guys and wanted to get a good pit stop, and ended up letting the clutch out before the car dropped, tore the drive shaft out and messed up the transmission. So we were kind of in a bad position after all that, but we were just trying to learn how to draft and stay up front. And a couple cars got together and ended up getting a hold of me, so that's just the way it goes.
Well, he comes from a pretty good bloodline, guys. He'll be back.
He's got talent and had a fast car today. And you'll hear more from Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything to cause that wreck. He was tagged from behind Buckshot Jones, got in there just a little hot. They made contact. Neither one of them meant that to happen, just like what happened to Tony Stewart. I guarantee you Mark Martin was looking at the people around him when he made contact there.
Dick Berggren.
Boy, there's a lot of deal making going on here right now. We think Nemechek and Mark Martin have just cut a deal. Jack Roush came over the radio and said, we're making so many deals. I'm a regular social butterfly up here. They've decided if they help each other today, maybe they can help each other tomorrow.
With less than 10 laps to go, the restart is single file. Joe Nemechek, Jeff Purvis, Mark Martin, Buckshot Jones, and Randy LaJoie, the defending champion.
All of those cars on the lead lap, which there are 16 of them being shown now, were lined up in front of those cars that were 1 or more laps down. That's the NASCAR rule in this division. On a restart with less than 10 laps to go, it is single file on all lead cars. Bumper to bumper.
It appeared that 3 cars were getting away a little bit, and now it may only be 2, Nemechek and Purvis.
Well, I tell you, they're running well, but you can see everybody's getting antsy back there. They're starting to single file out just behind there. But look at Randy LaJoie trying to make a move on the inside. He has some help. Now Michael Waltrip getting in the rumble on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Right, does he have the help that he needs down there? Michael doesn't have much help. He's on the inside of the 17 car of Matt Kenseth.
And right with him, Jimmy Spencer on the inside. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Waltrip got help there. Spencer. Now Spencer is not going to be able to, he's going to try to fall in line on the outside.
But that has let the front 5 get away.
Well, he has, but Matt Kenseth is just behind. You can see a bunch of cars there racing down the back straightaway, but the race right now is the top 5 cars there. You see them coming down into turn 3. They're starting to move away just a little bit.
With 4 laps to go, who has friends out there?
Nobody.
Joe Nemechek's the leader. He's in a Chevy. Jeff Purvis is in a Chevy. Mark Martin's in a Ford. Buckshot Jones and Randy LaJoie are in Chevrolets. Matt Kenseth is right with them. It's 6 cars to challenge for the win as they battle double file behind them.
Well, that's the worst thing they could do is race each other right now side by side. You see there, Michael Waltrip was moving forward a little bit, but he's got a lot of ground to make up.
Ralph Shaheen.
Johnny Allen, the crew chief for Jeff Purvis, reminded the guys down at Mark Martin's crew that they helped them out 2 years ago. Right here, they're expecting the same payback in a couple of laps.
Racers have long memories. And up high goes Mark Martin, the 3rd place car. And with him goes Buckshot Jones up to the high side and then back in line.
Joe Nemechek's been the class of the field all day today. But 2 cars drafting each other. If they get the track position on him, they can make a move on him.
Still single file.
Purvis is looking to the outside right now, but Mark Martin's not close enough to really give him the boost he needs.
Feeling out the track and each other.
2.5 laps to go. Joe Nemechek is so strong. And as long as he stays on the bottom, that's the short way around.
It's the short way around if he can make it work, but there's a lot of people back there who would like to get that edge on him down the straightaway and draft up beside him.
From Mark Martin, single file, 6 cars to decide it. Nemechek, Purvis, Martin, Jones, LaJoie, and Kenseth. 2 laps to go. And into that corner, Nemechek edges away.
He does. His car is working so good down on that inside, and if he can continue to do that every lap, he can gain enough in those corners that what they pick up on the straightaway in the draft, they just get back to him.
Look, here he comes. He took a look. Jeff Purvis looked to the outside as they headed down the back straightaway. Couldn't make the move.
He'll have one more chance.
I think Purvis dropped back in the corner to see if he got a run, whether he had enough car to make the move. It looked pretty good.
Off the corner, into the short straightaway, 1,200 feet from the start-finish line. His mom, Martha, watches as the white flag waves. They're on the last lap.
He'll take her right back down to the inside again like he's been doing all day long.
Jeff Purvis hoping Mark Martin is close enough to give him a run on the outside as they go down that back straightaway toward turn 3.
Ned, if they're going to make a move, they better hurry up. They're running out of real estate.
Yeah, coming off of turn 4 will be too late. They got to do it going into turn 3, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Nemechek's got a fast race car.
Joe Nemechek from Lakeland, Florida, drops it right down on the apron of the racetrack. Jeff Purvis, Mark Martin in line as they come off turn 4. Randy LaJoie looks to the bottom, but Joe Nemechek will score his 6th Busch Series career victory.
That's his mother, Martha. Nobody has a greater fan than Joe Nemechek and his mother. Boy, she just, every lap, she's always out there cheering him on, motioning him to go.
Matt Hutter has crashed on the final lap down at the inside of turn number 1. Joe Nemechek led 106 of the 120 laps, the most laps ever led by a winner of this event.
That's dominance. Boy, he had a great car, and he drove it so well today.
His first series victory came at the expense of Dale Earnhardt at New Hampshire International Speedway.
But that's the true mark of a real pro there. He never made a mistake. He didn't vary. He didn't look in the mirror with the last 5 laps. He run the race car.
Let's show you the sprint to the finish.
the line and get the checkered flag. 15 cars in the lead lap.
And Joe Nemechek leads all but 14 laps today. We'll be right back to Daytona after this. Whole crew out on pit road.
Yep.
That's a nice, very nice.
That was his crew for tomorrow that run out there and was waving to some of them.
Got it?
The one thing I have learned in all this time that I've done this, don't be talking when on the last flag. It's your job.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports coverage of the NAPA Auto Parts 300 is sponsored by the 6,200 NAPA Auto Parts stores nationwide, Wrangler, real comfortable jeans, and by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Joe Nemechek has won at Daytona, but as they came for the flag, Matt Hutter got caught up in an incident, and there is victory lane. John Nemechek celebrating with his dad. Here's what happened to that yellow car up top, Matt Hutter.
Matt Hutter there, 36, gets a little assistance there from behind. He's crossed up pretty good there, gets hit again. Tim Fedewa spins.
Fedewa in the car number 33 gets taken out also.
It's been a wild day at Daytona, a wild finish, and a happy victory lane. Ken Squire.
As 1997 ended, 1988 commences for Joe Nemechek as he clambers out of the victorious car in the NAPA 300. Nemechek has done it 2 in a row in Grand National Racing. Down here with young son John, who's a little overcome with it. You don't seem overcome with it. What a beautiful performance.
I can't say enough about this Bell South Mobility Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Awesome.
Flawless race.
Just everything went perfect. The pit stop, the crew did an awesome job. We got out of the pits first. Strategy was good. We built this brand new car for this race, and man, I just can't say enough about this whole crew. These people are awesome.
Now, that last 20 laps, did you think they'd ever end?
I didn't know what was going to happen, but our Chevrolet Monte Carlo was just really, really good, and the guys, they were trying to team up on me, and I knew they were doing that, so I was trying to take the good air away from them, and it was just tough. I can't say enough for this crew and our family, and it's really special. I have my son John Hunter, my wife, and all the people from Lakeland are here today, so it's a good day.
A new record. You led 106 laps. The old record, 101, 1967. Paul Goldsmith, congratulations. And it looks like your #1 fan's a little tuckered out.
Oh, yes. He was all smiles. He was happy to see Daddy today, so that's good.
All right, let's go to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Ken. Jeff Purvis finishes second today. Mark Martin is third. Buckshot Jones, Randy LaJoy, and Matt Kenseth. Then Michael Waltrip, Kevin Schwantz, Jimmy Spencer, Phil Parsons, Mike Wallace, Hermes Sadler, John Andretti, Mark Green, and Stanton Barrett all finished on the lead lap. Then Jason Keller, Dale Fishline, Mike McLaughlin, the pole sitter, Brad Loney, Tim Fedewa, Matt Hutter, then Jeff Burton and Dick Trickle on back through the rest of this field. The Grand National season is underway. The first of 31 races just concluded here at Daytona. Joe Nemechek leads all but 14 laps in his drive to victory. Tomorrow, the Great American Race, the 40th annual Daytona 500. presented for the 20th consecutive year live flag to flag here on CBS. Coming up next, the 18th Winter Olympic Games from Nagano, Japan, men's and women's hockey, and the Nordic combined event. Tonight, men's figure skating, women's alpine skiing, and the two-man bobsleds. Burnett Jarrett, Buddy Baker, Bill Stevens, Dick Berger, and Ralph Shaheen and Ken Squire. Mike Joy congratulating Joe Nemechek on his victory in the NAPA Auto Parts 300 at Daytona. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the Daytona 500.